talk real quick about the New Hampshire primary happened this past week. Give me your thoughts on that. Trump had a commanding victory.
As expected, and more than a commanding them. I mean, basically a horsewhipping. I mean, he
a horsewhipping?
Yeah, it was a horsewhipping. He was so far ahead of everybody else. And Kasich came out of that pretty good. He was all in on New Hampshire, and that gave him some new life. I'm glad to see that it did what these primaries are supposed to do. These early primaries winnowed some of these people out.
Yep, weeding them out.
Yep, and
get
so
down to our.
It'll be interesting to see now where those supporters gravitate towards, because I think what we're going to find is that you've got Trump and then there's really and everybody else. Right. I mean, really, they like to throw.
They like to have Cruz in there, but Cruz and Trump are similar, and then you have Rubio.
No, they're not similar though. I mean, they're really quite different. It's
in terms of being that really shake up Washington deal.
Yeah, maybe so, but I don't see.
Where the other
Cruz is not that much of a shake up guy. I mean, he's just in the Senate. He's been in government for a long time. He's an attorney. He's been in front of the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? I mean, he's in that wheelhouse. To portray him as an outsider, I think, is a stretch.
Talk then a little bit about the security of the, we know we're talking about security of a property, but talk about the security of the system, with all this hacking going on and those types of things. I mean, what is your encryption like, and how secure is that for somebody going to get my code and be able to waltz into my house and preheat my oven?
Yeah, that's a really important consideration for people to think about as they get these systems. So, Alarm.com has been around since 2000, and we started in security, so providing really life safety services, things that have to work when you need them. So from the ground up, reliability and security has been at the core of everything we do. So, we have state-of-the-art encryption. Our data centers are sort of highly protected, and we're always investing in staying current in that, because that's a little bit of a moving target. I think that as you look at other devices that just started in the last couple of years or brought something out and are more home automation focused, that don't have the heritage and security, I think that those people may not have thought through all the kinds of security aspects. So the other thing I would say is that our systems are typically installed by a security provider, and so in the installation process, there's a lot of important things you can do to make sure it's secure.
Real refreshing to sit down with these younger buyers and talk through the process with them. They're very interested in learning about the process. I think it seems more so than my generation was, maybe. The real estate bubble and subsequent crash that we had, and that's obviously widely published on the 24-hour news cycle, has made them very cautious people in buying property. I don't know if you've seen the same thing with the loan process. Have you? Or
here I just wrote down as you were talking, they like the technology of how they can do stuff online, but then what I wrote down is they like to meet in person.
Yeah.
There's still that human connection that I think they still really want, but they like things to be able to be, as you guys know, and in our industry as well, you can e-sign docs now, so that's a faster process. You can go online, it's all secure. That's a faster process. So I think they like the speed of the transaction, but they like the human touch through that, how we will always say, let's sit down, have a cup of coffee, just walk through some things. And I want to point out, too, I think it's so unique because we talk about it quite often on the show, how you guys will go knock on doors and we'll do this and we'll put deals together, and I think that's so commonplace, but that is the difference in working with
it's totally the difference
with the Hittner Group, and just being asked, well, why do you work with Hittner Group? Why because the difference
what a lot of it is, Kelvin, it's 30 years of history. So that's 30 years of collecting names and addresses and doing transactions in neighborhoods and driving around and all of that, where you just becomes so much part of your DNA that you have this awareness of what's going on around you, and sometimes you don't even think about it. I mean, you just it's just like that.
Well, I know, but you guys don't think about it, but I think the real estate community at large wouldn't ever think about doing it.
Well, and think about this: with the real estate community in general, 30% of the people that are in the real estate industry right now that are licensed,
30%.
30% will be gone next year.
Oh, really?
And
So
then
there's that much turnover.
there's tremendous turnover, and 30% of them that are new coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So 60% of the market is either on the way out or on the way in.